Hello! Today we are exploring the question, now what? Especially for those professionals who are 10, 20, 30 years into their career. And we're going to begin by checking in on how you feel right now. When you think about your career, your life, as you come into the session, take a moment to notice what you're thinking, your emotions, how you're feeling, and even physically in your body, what's going on. You can make a mental note or a written note. And then second, I'd like you to think about what it means for you when you think of success. Are there a few words that come to mind? And again, you can take a mental note or a written note about what success means to you. Wonderful. We're going to bring this in as we explore 5 secrets to mid-career leaps. And the basic gist of it is that there are things that make us successful when we're young, in the first, say, 10, 15 years of our career, that actually hold us back later on. We need new skills to replace the ones that made us wonderful workers. But to move into being an expert or an executive or a leader at a different level, there are different skills and they're learnable. But the early skills can be a bit of a crutch, or they can hold us back, or they can make us feel stuck because it's confusing. I did all of this, I did everything everyone said, why am I stuck? And there's actually an answer to that, or there's an exploration to that. The first secret is what I describe as presence. So the question for you here is, when you think of presence, leadership presence, executive presence, if you think of world leaders, business leaders, community leaders, family leaders, is there someone who comes to mind, or a few people who come to mind who have presence? There are different styles. You might like some better than others. But take a note of who you think of and what that effect is on you, that presence. And the secret here is the action for you is that presence truly comes from within. If you have a mindfulness practice or a somatic body-based sitting practice or some kind of practice that allows you to be very present in the moment with yourself, with others, and what's going on, that's the thing to cultivate, because it creates an atmosphere of trust and motivation when used correctly. The second secret is transformation. And so for my question for you here is, can you right now tell me what it is that you're transforming in your career, in your life, in the world? What is the transformation you're working on right now? And if you can't make a simple statement around that, then your action is to write down a promise to yourself about the transformation you're creating. And the idea is that we move from transactional, which we're often focused on when we're young, into really being able to see the bigger picture and bring people with us. It comes in 2 parts: knowing what to focus on, and then knowing the value of why we're doing it. Then creating a flexible plan that moves us forward towards that. The real secret here is that goal setting is a trap. And I know we all have goals. We have annual goals, we have resolutions, we have all kinds of things. Goal setting is a trap that kills innovation, it kills creativity, it kills the open field of opportunity. And so you really want a flexible plan that brings you towards the transformation. So I invite you to think about that, about killing goal setting, using it very specifically, but really not being as regimented about goals, but being open to transformation and clear where you want to go. The third secret is integrity. Oftentimes early in our career, we feel we need to compromise integrity a little bit in our day-to-day interactions. And it's not that we don't have fundamental integrity, it's that we allow situations to erode that integrity in small interactions day to day, when we don't speak up and we want to speak up, when we show up in a way that we don't like, we got angry and expressed it in a way we didn't like, or we're running late for meetings all the time, or we're not getting back to people, different things. We allow them, and it means that we lose trust in ourselves. And so really coming up with the action is to really come up with a personal honor code, a set of personal standards, so that no matter what the world throws at you, no matter what your day throws at you, no matter what happens, you have leadership around staying in your integrity, and you know how to do it. You're skilled at staying in that integrity. So being vigilant about shutting down these kind of integrity vampires that come through. So your action is to think about that. What is important to you that maybe you're allowing to be compromised, and what steps can you take to really stay in your integrity all the time? The fourth secret is resilience. Moving through negativity, fear, and resistance to change is your job description when you become a mid to late career leader. In fact, finding the hidden opportunities within that fear and resistance to change. And so by applying the 3 skills that we just reviewed, presence, transformation, and integrity, you can create different models of how you move through this. So if you tend to be a complainer, you'll find ways maybe not to complain. Or if you tend to be passive, maybe you find ways to be active. Or if you tend to be a bully, maybe you find different ways. So because you have life experience now, you can test out different ways of showing up, different ways to resolve conflict, different ways of inspiring people. You can look at understanding change back reactions, resistance to change. You can look at understanding innovation and fail fast approaches that allow you to test things out quickly without as much fear. There are lots of ways, but I invite you to think about that, about the resilience of moving through and expecting resistance, expecting fear. The 5th secret is integration, and that's taking all of this and allowing things to have time. So often we try something and then we're rushing on to the next thing, and we're hustling and we're rushing on to the next thing. And we often skip learning and really allowing things to become embodied, allowing the knowledge to be shared, to be discussed honestly, whether it's uncomfortable or comfortable. So it requires 2 steps. You have to build in time and space for integration. And don't just rush on to the next thing. And safety, build in safety for difficult conversations to be had if necessary. And you need to check in on progress, which we can do right now. We started out looking at how you feel about your career and your life and what you're creating, and we checked in on how you feel about success. Even in just a few moments of listening to some of these ideas, you may have had something shift. And so I invite you to think about your thoughts, your emotions, your physical responses, and what might have shifted, and do a check-in and notice what's going on with you. So those are the 5 secrets that I share with mid-career leaps. There's more, and there's depth in each one of those. If you'd like to talk more, you can always go to erinmosley.com/workshops or erinmosley.com/connect. There are links there to set up a take action call with me or drop me a note. I'd love to hear how this applies in your situation. I never like to leave people hanging. I always want to help people really apply this in their lives. So please don't hesitate to contact me and we can have a conversation about that. Thank you.